and then there's $10 with the message "Identity Europa is the future of the right in America." Ramsey Paul and Nicholas J. Fuentes, do you like the work at the Identity Europa organization is doing?
I will answer that first and I'll turn over to Nick. And yes, I think they've really improved their direction. The old leadership they had, I wasn't a big fan of. They were some of the people that I think Nick talked about were kind of on the crazy side. But the current group now, from what I see, they don't do things like post swastikas or anything like that. They have a positive message, and they're pro-American. And I think that is the type of activism that we need. So from what I see of them, and I'm not involved with them, but from what I see of them, I think they're a good organization. Nick?
Yeah, I'm 100% in agreement. I really, really like what they've been up to, because you're right. I mean, a little while ago, before they had the leadership change, it was a little bit rough. You know, it wasn't that organized. It wasn't, I don't think, that competent. And I don't really know if they knew what their mission was. I remember I was in it briefly for a minute and before I got kicked out. And at the time, I remember there was just really no goal. I ended up asking Eli Mosley, who was leading at the time, like, where do you see Identity Europa in 5-10 years? And he said, well, you know, we just want to get more members. Well, that's not really a mission statement. You know, that's not really adequate, I don't think. But their current leadership, Patrick Casey, is a very fine person. And I remember I met him actually over a year ago now in DC. And even though he's a relatively younger guy, he's older than me, but he's relatively young. What strikes me is that he's a very mature person, which is absolutely what this movement needs at the time. What we saw in the last 2 years is, I think, a lot of immaturity, a lot of juvenile, very young energy spoil a lot of the gains that have been made and laid over the past 25, 30 years. And so it's surprising that Patrick Casey, he's a relatively younger guy, but what struck me when I met him is that this is somebody who is mature. He's got, I think, very good organizational skills. He's got a good strategic mind. And so he's really taken them to a good place where they've expanded their membership. They're institutionalizing a little bit stronger in the sense that I think the structure of the organization is a lot better. They're doing much more organized rallies and much smarter operations, things like that. And the American aesthetic, I think, that's a change I had been talking about for years now. So I really like where they're going. So I'm a big fan.